giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Happy Tuesday, Cowboys Nation. It's time to move on. It's time to figure this thing out for Thursday. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Make sure you guys check me out on Twitter at Skywalker Steele. Hey, game's over. Put it behind us. We'll talk some more about it. I'm pretty sure you guys got some things to say, so call in. Also, we'll have my guy, my bro, the Roundtable Brethren, Foots the King, joining me here shortly to call in and talk about this Raiders defense. That's what we'll look at today first, man. How the Cowboys offense can bounce back against this Raiders defense. They're ripe for the picking. They are ripe for the picking, but you got to be careful. They got some players over here. They got some players, man. I'm also going to talk about, we are going to talk about this one thing that the Cowboys have to get back right on offense that really, if you look at the last 5 weeks, hasn't been that great. Hasn't been that great, guys. But with that said, man, shout outs are in order. What's up, Mark David C. Fresh Fade says rebound time. Absolutely, man. Dario TC915 in the building. Iceberg Q. What's up? E. Beezy, Manny Ramos, Bo Jelks, DJ's World. Who else we got up in here? Kelly on Facebook. A lot of Facebook in the building. A lot of Facebook. CJ Richards, Peter, Manny Ramos. And I'm still looking here. So Scotty Laxton, Flo, Lord Nova. We got Marcelo, Adrian, and a lot of our day ones are up in here. Bo Jelk, some members in the building too. Salute to y'all. Charlene, Alpha Mason, David C, Adam, and the many more coming through. Appreciate you guys. Sean says, Sky, all the haters at work yesterday couldn't wait to come in talking smack. You know how that go. I really don't miss that, to be honest with you, in regards to going into the office. I don't miss that at all. I'm from PA, as y'all know, and a lot of Eagles fans and things like that, they like to talk their mess. And Foots is from the D.C. area. It's from D.C., so he's probably used to a lot of smack, trash talking in regard to the Washingtons, but they ain't have too much to talk about today. So once Foots comes in here, we'll talk a little bit about that. But we have to move on, man. As you guys see it right below, Cowboys versus Raiders first look, because it's Tuesday and the Cowboys play on Thursday. Now, you guys want to call in, you can call in, and we'll continue to go over what happened on Sunday. But just make sure that if you do want to talk about Sunday, at some point in your conversation, we do talk about the Raiders, because we only got 2 days. All right, we only got 2 days. It was a short week, and we got to figure out how the Cowboys can get back on track here. Iceberg Q, you just said something very interesting. He says 12 personnel, bring it back. Now, that wasn't the one thing I was talking about, but that is part of what I mean. And I'll tease it. I'll talk about it right now. I'll wait for more folk to come up in here before we hit the roundup. We have to get this running game back on track. I'm not asking for the running game to be 200 yards like we did earlier in the season. I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking for it to be productive again. It's been very lackluster. If you go back and look over the last, really since the Patriots game, the Giants game, of the last 5 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, most yards rushing they had was 122, and that was against the New England Patriots. Other than that, 78, 82, 114. And the 43-3 blowout was at 114. So I feel like the Cowboys need to get this ground game back on track so it can help open up other things when you run into these teams that are going to want to play you like the Chiefs did play you last week. And the reason why I say Iceberg Q, very interesting point you bring up about the 12 personnel, if Amari Cooper is going to be out, which he is, if CeeDee Lamb is going to be out, which we'll talk about in the roundup, you almost have no choice but to go back to that 12 personnel and try to get something going in that ground game and also in the passing game too. So you may see more Dalton Schultz moving forward if Dalton Schultz has a better game. He came on late in that fourth quarter, but earlier in the game, he kind of was MIA. So pretty good point. Manny says it's not the same without Jarwin. Jarwin really hasn't been a factor, and you all know me. I'm a Jarwin stan. But Jarwin really hasn't been a factor in the passing game that much. Now, I think he has 2 touchdowns in the red zone, so you could be missing him there. And I do like Sean McEwen blocking in the 12 personnel. But, yeah, they got to try something. They got to try something. Dario says too many drops, and Marcelo says, is CD out? Well, let's talk about that now in the roundup because I thought for sure 100% he's not playing. Let's take a listen to what some of the folks in the front office are talking about with CeeDee Lamb in the roundup.
Look at them, it's about that time.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time! It's time!
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
This is the morning roundup presented by Texas Family Fitness, a solution for your fitness goals. And right now over at Texas Family Fitness, they have a Black Friday sale where you can get started for $0 enrollment. Don't wait until the new year to get started on your fitness journey. Start accomplishing your goals today at the best gym in the DFW area. So make sure if you want to check out Texas Family Fitness, you can do it in person at any of the 9 locations in the DFW area, or head on over to texasfamilyfitness.com for more information on how to get your fitness journey started. Right off the bat, there's some really good news. Really, all 3 of these things in the roundup is good news in my opinion. But DeMarcus Lawrence, I wasn't expecting D-Law until December, and it looks like that's going to happen. According to Mike McCarthy, DeMarcus Lawrence will start his 21-day practice window shortly, says McCarthy, and they are optimistic that he could play fairly soon. Now, obviously, he's ruled out for Thursday. He's not going to play Thursday, but next Thursday against the Saints, it's very possible. It's very possible. So keep your ears and eyes open on DeMarcus Lawrence's return, and he will be a welcome sight to help with the pass rush, to help Micah Parsons. Real quick before I move on, Micah Parsons just continues to do ridiculous things. Micah Parsons became the first player in NFL history, not rookie, not history, to record at least 5 sacks, 25 tackles, double-digit tackles for loss, and multiple forced fumbles in a 4-game span since 1999. That's when tackles for loss became a statistic. So he's just continues to make history, man. And I'm at this point where, because here's the conversation. Here's the low-hanging fruit. Here's the clickety-clackety. Where are you going to play Micah? Micah, I don't give a damn. Put him on the field. Put him on the field. Game to game. They'll figure it out. And what the coaches decide to do, all right, cool. Go wreak havoc, man. The dude is an absolute animal. Man, we're lucky. We're lucky. CeeDee Lamb. Now, y'all know me. I said this yesterday. I said this in the post game. I did not expect to have CeeDee Lamb. Part of me still does not expect to have CeeDee Lamb. It's a concussion, and you would think the NFL is not playing about these concussions, but, Steven went on 105 through the fan and said CD is doing really well. He'll have an opportunity to play Thursday. If he were having any issues today, then you'd probably be a little leery. But they're optimistic because he's feeling better. He'll start his protocol right away. And if he, like I said, if he's having any issues, they'll be a little leery. But so far, he's doing well, and he'll have to go through all the testing. To me, it feels a little bit feels like gamesmanship. I don't know that you risk it. Now, with these concussion protocols now, Lamb, Lamb and players, and we've been all through this if you play football. You fight it through. You act like everything is good, but these are doctors paid a lot of money. These are franchises worth billions of dollars. I don't think they're going to allow CeeDee Lamb to go out there if he's not 100% removed of those cobwebs from the concussion. I don't know about y'all, but how y'all feeling about CeeDee Lamb? You think this is gamesmanship, or do you think he really plays? Even if he's feeling better, I don't even know if I do that, man. I mean, that's... If it wasn't for all the concussion stuff, 15 years ago, you might be like, whatever, get back out there. But what we know now, this might be a game he has to sit out. It just might be a game he has to sit out. But, hey, listen, if he's good to go, he's 100%, and he feels that way, and the doctors say he's cool, hey, we need him. So I'll welcome him back. Tyron Smith is finally expected to play this week per Stephen Jones and Mike McCarthy and everybody else over there. Barring some unforeseen setback this week, he should be ready to play this Thursday, says Stephen Jones. They also believe, though, that this is the type of injury that unfortunately will linger a little bit. So, Tyron has shown to be, by not playing, the second most, if not the most important player on this team, man. Still, especially when you're going up against some guys that in a scheme that can give the Cowboys offensive line trouble. And that was one in Kansas City. They had players up there, Frank Clark and Chris Jones, and then the scheme. And then when you lose your skill players, it makes that scheme look even better. So this week they go up against the Raiders. The Raiders. They're going to need them. They're going to need Tyron Smith. Listen, y'all, they may not be household names to most fans. And we'll talk about it today because this is about the Las Vegas. I be want to say Oakland so bad. The Las Vegas Raiders. But Yannick Ngakoue and Max Crosby are no slouches at all. So I'm hoping Tyron Smith is able to play. Come on, pull up here. I'm hoping Tyron Smith is able to play because Terrence Steele's been up and down at left tackle. One good game, couple bad games. And the one good game, we kind of figured they should have a bounce-back game against that pass rush because Atlanta's pass rush really wasn't that good. Not the case here. Not the case here at all with Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue. And all the more reason to get your ground game going this week. And we'll talk about why they can in regards to statistically and up the middle and how they're kind of soft. But real quick, I think my boy is in the building, man. Real quick, let me, everybody else, bring my guy Brad in. No, I ain't going to do that to you, Foots. And bring my guy Foots in here. What's up, Foots?
Yo, how you doing, Scott? Good morning. I'm running around with the kiddos, but I got some time to chat.
I appreciate my boy. By the way, if y'all don't know who this is Foots the King. So let's give him a round of applause as he comes through here of Cowboys Nation TV, of the round table. My good brother, man. I'm glad you could join me. And I needed to talk to somebody after that game. I know I want to move on real quick, but just kind of give me your general thoughts about that Chiefs game before we kind of talk about these Raiders here, man.
Hey, man, couldn't get going. No need to panic. You woke up the next day 7-3, Sky, but you couldn't get going. The offense, everybody had a shot. Head coach had a shot. I mean, failed. I wouldn't say failed, but didn't do their job. Kellen Moore, Dak, drops, bad old line play. So when it all comes together like that, and there's no one person to blame, but when it all comes together like that, it could be a bad thing. And, you didn't take advantage of the opportunity that you had. I thought the defense played well. I think that Micah Parsons is clearly in the defensive player of the year round. Of the year. Yeah, you're not rookie. Rookie's locked up. He already has more sacks than Chase Young had last year. So, and there's 8 games left, Sky, or 7 games left. So He's clearly he just can do more than a player like a Young. But now we're seeing that he's at, I don't even know if he's 21 yet, better than a lot of these grown men just because he just has those skills. So I'm glad that we have him on our defense. The game is slowing down for him.
Yeah.
I thought the defense as a whole held up, especially in the second half. So that's something to build on going into this Oakland game. We didn't play our best. We woke up 7-3, Sky. It's time to move on.
Indeed, man. Listen, it's one of these games where every team faces adversity, faces games like this throughout the year, every Super Bowl team. So you just have to learn from it, right? And one of the things I think they can learn from is I don't want to be this way, but there is a blueprint. And you're probably like, what do you mean, Sky? But I said this before. The blueprint is Tyron Smith out? Are our receivers out? The blueprint, okay, come get Dak Prescott and good luck Noah Brown, Ced Wilson, and Michael Gallup. That's the blueprint. Hope that the Cowboys' best players are out and then blitz them. That's it. That's truly it.
Absolutely, Sky. Absolutely.
But we're moving on now. Raiders on Thursday, Thanksgiving game. And I want to talk about the defense. And the reason why I wanted to hit you up about their defense, because we both were fans of Trayvon Moehrig coming out. And I'm like, man, what better person to talk to than Foots about the safety position and about the defense in general, because we did a bunch of different draft shows in the offseason. And they got some players over there, Foots. Statistically, if you look at them, they're very middling in some statistics and really at the bottom of the league. But when you got players and you got a solid scheme run by Gus Bradley, who we should be familiar with because that's Dan Quinn's boy. Gus Bradley coached in the Legion of Boom. He built the Legion of Boom. Dan Quinn took over and took them to new heights. But this is a defense that is more, in my opinion, a rally and tackle defense. And when you don't, they can get got like they did against the Chiefs when the yards after catch ate them up pretty bad, Foots. But kind of your overall thoughts on this Gus Bradley Raiders D.
A physical bunch, man. It's kind of weird. I look at them as like their layers of the cake don't all taste the same. So Yannick and Max are really good, really good. Corey Littleton is kind of the weak link. Their run game isn't where it should be. I mean, their run defense is where it should be. And they have players on the back end, but then there are some pieces of the cake on that back end that Dallas can take advantage of. Trayvon Moehrig is a great player. I think he would have been a great player in Dallas as well. He's shown that. But I think that Dak can take advantage of a guy like Abram. Gets a little he plays excited. And sometimes at the safety position doesn't play with his eyes, takes a lot of chances, and the ball goes over his head a lot. But defensively, this team isn't the best, but they have players, but you can move the ball. It's really weird. It's really weird. If you let Max Crosby wreck your game, he's going to wreck your game. Mm-hmm. He's going to do exactly what Chris Jones did to you. He can move all over the line. He can play every position on the defensive line, and he is a powerful, powerful man. And Yannick Ngakoue can do the same thing. Yeah. And he's not quite as good as Max Crosby, but he's really good. And so the point is Dallas is going to have
our team in sacks.
Yeah. So, and that's the point. But you can also move the ball on them as well. But I thought that Dallas would have did a better job of attacking Kansas City's linebackers, but they didn't have a chance to because Steve just blitzed and just played forward. So I want to see how Dallas, and obviously the health of your dogs matter because if you have Tyron Smith out there, I like him against any defensive end. I don't care who it is.
Facts.
He's shown he's that good. But if you don't, you better look for that matchup with Terrence Steele. And they're going to look for that as well. So, I feel like the offense will get it back on track. I do. I feel like they'll get CD the ball quick. I know Amari Cooper's going to be out. And I feel like this offense will get it back on track, Sky.
No, I feel that way, too. I said it right after the game when we kind of briefly talked about the Raiders game on the postgame show. And I thought that because Tyron Smith would be back. I feel like when Tyron plays, that just exudes more confidence, not only from Dak Prescott, but your offensive coordinator too. When Tyron Smith is not in there, I feel like Kellen Moore tightens up a little bit. I know you can't run everything the same when he's not over there, but I feel like he tightens up some, and having him back should give confidence for Dak and confidence for Kellen Moore to get back on track. But here's where I think you can get at them. And I think they're soft in the middle, and that's no disrespect to Jonathan Hankins, who I think is a solid one-tech type of defensive tackle. But I think they're soft. They're susceptible to getting run, not even just up the middle, but on the edges too. But what I mean is in the ground game. They've given up, they're giving up a lot of rush yards this year. A lot of rush yards. Every game they've given up over 100 except 2. And the one game they didn't give up 100 rush yards, they gave up 422 passing yards, Foots. The 2 of the last 3 weeks, 159 rush yards, 149 rush yards. And that's why I said on Twitter, man, if there was one game to get your running game back on track, it has to be this week, right? It has to be this week.
It's not. And I think hit your shots. Like, the kid Brandon Faison, I'm watching some of the games. He gets very, very grabby, very handsy. And, take your shots, man. Like run game, throw it over their head.
Right.
If you have to max protect. If you got to chip Max Crosby, that's fine. I think when you say with Kellen, I think that he has to understand what teams are trying to do earlier. Right, Sky? And when I say that is, if they're sending max blitzes, you're going to have to max protect.
Right.
You're not going to be able to go 3-by-1, 2-by-1 in certain down and distance because the ball has to come out quicker than you can even get to the sticks. You see what I'm saying?
No,
those are the types of things I'm looking for. Running the ball, yes. If you can stay ahead of the chains, you're in great shape.
Yeah, and that was the problem. I said one of the comments here on YouTube. If you go back and watch the All-22 view, and I don't like to say this all the time, but just the reason why I say go back and watch it, because now you can see how they're playing on the back end. And in early downs, the Chiefs pretty much knew what the heck the Cowboys were doing based off the alignments that the Cowboys were running. The run game wasn't working because I thought it was just extremely predictable and very vanilla. And when it did work, it was, some trickery and things like that. He had a couple 5 or 6 yard runs, but for the most part, he was very predictable and kind of tightened up. And we understand he's still a young guy or whatever, and he's still learning. But going into that game, Foots, I said, this is an opportunity for Kellen Moore to show the world that even down a bunch of men that he needs, he has the opportunity to show that he still can be that guy. And I just thought he called a bad game, Foots. I just do.
Yeah, and I think another issue is this. Cover 1. And you have the All-22. Cover 1 and some type of cover 3, which ends up the cover 3 to me always it's man. It turns into an off man look on the edge. Dallas is going to have to find a way to, when teams are sending the house and going zero coverage and playing 8-man services, I want to see them. To me, Scott, I want to just see them raise up and throw slant more. I want to see them do a lot more quick game to get these guys, Michael Gallup, CD, the ball quick right now. And I know they tried it a little bit, but that's the execution part that I want to see improve, Sky, because you have guys, especially in CD, you have a guy who, after the catch, is like Deebo Samuel. He's like a running back. And I just want to see that part of things improve. But, I think it will. Like, I think on our fast track, and it's tough to play in Kansas City. It is.
Yeah.
We had a lot of the issues, and I'm not making excuses for the guys. Again, we can't make excuses because we've seen this team beat a good Minnesota team. We've seen this team beat a good Chargers team. So these aren't excuses. These are this is what happened. You're 7-3.
Yeah. Here's the problem nowadays that we can't, definitely as content creators or as, I don't want to say analysts, but whatever, man. People giving their opinion. And my guy, Katie Drummond, said this so greatly. Go check out that tweet. We're in a world now where everything has to be so far left or so far right. I'm not talking politically. I'm talking about so negative or super positive. And anytime you try to give reasonings to things or context, it's looked upon as excuses. And that's you can't have that. There's reasons why things happen, man. There just is. And when you come out there and you say, well, your left tackle is gone, your wide receiver 1 is gone, your wide receiver 2 is gone, your 2 best pass rushers are gone. Like, when you say these things, it sounds like excuses, but I mean, technically those are reasons, right? So you can talk about
dude, if you listen, if you don't play with your left tackle,
Yeah.
show me a left tackle and show me the same left, like the drop off between your starting tackle and your backup is probably the most significant drop off in any position on your roster. Easily. Not to cut you off, Scott, but like you said, it's not an excuse, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And guess what? You're still 7-3. I think Dallas, they will never say it, but I think they're playing a long game with a lot of these injuries, Scott.
Sure.
They'll never say it. But they know Tyron. Tyron knows Tyron. We look at every game and we hold on to every game. McCarthy, Jerry, and them are like, nah, we need Tyron for this real push.
And I don't necessarily think it's the wrong move there because you've got a lot of key players out, and you don't want them to re-injure it down the stretch where that's where the most important time to catch fire is those last 3-4 games going into the postseason. And then you catch fire in the postseason, and next thing you know, you're Tampa Bay. People forget Tampa was something like 6-5 or something, or 7-5 last year, not looking the greatest, and they start getting people back at the end, and they went on a run.
Man, listen, I'm not worried at all. I'm not worried about this NFC East. I honestly think this will make Dallas tighten up. Like, I'm not worried about the teams that are quote-unquote playing better. You need a little adversity. You need a loss. All I keep telling fans and myself is you woke up 7-3. You'll go out here the way that – listen, this defense – and the best thing about it is this, Sky. You have the right characters on this team. Nobody's going to turn on themselves. The quarterback, he goes up there, he says the right things, and he really means it. And the team believes in it. You have Micah. Micah has become a leader. He knows what it means to wear that star now. And his thing is, we're going to keep playing better. He's inspiring those defenders out there. Trust me on that. It's like, and I know you're going to talk about the offense, and I'll hang up and listen. But I think that this Dallas defense matches up very well with this Raiders offense. Because they don't have the rugs anymore. They can't take the top off. Yeah. And this run game doesn't scare me. Yeah,
they're struggling. The Raiders are super struggling on the offensive side of the ball, and they walk into a team that is pissed off. And again, this the Cowboys got whooped on against the Broncos. I said, ooh, I feel bad for that Atlanta Falcons team because they're about to get a pissed off Cowboys team. And what did Dak Prescott say after after that Kansas City game? What do you say? How do you feel about this game or something like that? He said, I'm pissed. I'm pissed. So, good luck, Oakland team. Or keep saying Oakland. Las Vegas team coming in to Dallas on Thursday. I think that they're going to get a really upset squad that should come out and play well on both sides of the ball. How well, we'll see. We'll see because a lot of players are out. One last thing before I let you go on the offensive side, man. If they don't have CeeDee Lamb and they're down Cooper and Lamb, what do you think they should do to combat that?
It's crazy. I want to see Tony Pollard motion out of the backfield and play more receiver. Yeah, I want to see because in those personnel groupings, they're going to have to keep a linebacker in there. So maybe more 2 running back sets with Zeke and Pollard or maybe more single back sets, and you can go empty. And I just want to see Tony raise up and go quick to Tony. I don't think that the Cowboys do him quite the amount of justice they should in the passing game. He can catch very well. He runs very good routes. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that's something that they need to look at, Sky. That's one thing. Another thing is run the ball.
Yeah, this has to be the game. I'm saying writing this down.
Yeah, now, the Pollard, yeah. Kind of think about that because Pollard really is an extent. He's a thicker CeeDee Lamb, and can't quite catch as well. But if you think about him and Deebo Samuels in the same vein, I just don't think that Dallas uses that matchup as they should. Those backers can't run with him, man.
No.
Get him in space.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a copycat league to me. And I'm not saying you copy everybody's scheme, but there's certain plays, certain packages you can. And I just don't get why Dallas doesn't copy some of the things that KC does. I call them the space ball team. They know how to get their quick, fast, explosive guys the rock in space. They just do. They know how to create that to stretch the field and stretch your alignments. And they did that against the Cowboys. It didn't work all the time because Micah Parsons is ridiculous. But you got to find a way to be able to get Tony involved. And as we're watching that game on Sunday, I look over to Jesse, and I'm like, listen, I said it pregame. Where's Tony in the slot? Where's Tony, period? And they finally get Tony the ball on a wildcat formation. He goes 31 yards, and then they kind of say, okay, that's enough for Tony. Listen, man, I know Zeke make $90 million. I understand that's your guy. I understand he does the eat me thing. I get all that, but he's clearly hobbled, Foots. He's clearly hobbled. So, maybe you need to start leaning on TP a little bit more. And I've been saying this for the last 3 years, Foots. In games like this where it's real muddy and you're not really having any success on the ground consistently, if that's the case, then give me the guy that has the potential to break a 40, 50-yard, to break one. Because we just need one play. That's not Zeke no more, right? That's Tony Pollard. So I would have liked to see a little bit more TP, man. And I still want to see more TP.
Yeah, man. I think that you got to think about how you're using TP. I think that's huge. And like you said, he can be your home. He just can run. He can run, and he's your home run guy. And I think, listen, no panic here, guys.
No,
fans, no panic. It's not that we're being cliche. Just it's literally no panic. You're fine. You're 7-3. You earned that right, and the cream will always rise to the top, and it will. And it's a long season. It's a long stretch. We will be fine.
Hey, Foots, I appreciate you coming through, man. We'll probably all get together again for another round table. I'm not sure when. That's something we got to wrap the Vach about, but thank you for coming through, big dog.
Hey, man, Sky, I'm going to hang up and listen. Thank you for having me. My little man's in the background listening, too, so it's cool, man. Listen, Sky, thank you for everything that you do, because I'll be honest, you killing the game right now. Ain't nobody doing it like my man Skywalker Steele.
I appreciate you, Foots. Can I get an A on the way out?
A.
My man.
Appreciate you, my boy.
Hey, good luck, man. Let's clap it up. Smack it. Let's clap it up for my man Foots, the King, on Cowboys Nation TV. Make sure to go follow him on YouTube. I love his post-game reactions and recap. It's really not a reaction. It's a recap because he's very level-headed and in the post-game reactions. Now, we always – look, me, Foots, and Vach, we kind of fuss a little bit amongst our chat. We kind of – our little group chat. Because Foots, he liked to hold things accountable for Dak Prescott in short. I'll just say it in that way. But we have a lot of fun, man. Foots a good dude, great father, and good content creator. So make sure y'all check him out, man. We'll wrap. All right, I'm actually gonna go right into the phone. There's another phone call here, and then when I come out, we'll get back into a little bit of this Raiders defense because I do think there is opportunity, guys. I do. But I want to make sure that we highlight the players that can wreck the game. And we make sure we don't overlook. Learn my lesson from the what game was that? The Broncos game. I learned my lesson from that game. We will not overlook people. And then last week's lesson was remove your fandom. I let my fandom get involved way too much in that pregame right before I made the pick. I let it get involved. So we learn our lessons, right? We learn our lessons as we move forward with this thing. We got Bro in the building. Bro, you still there? 510?
Here. Good morning, Skywalker, man. It's good to hear you, man.
Thank you, man. Good morning, man. Nice to hear from you, too, man. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing good, man. I was a little disappointed yesterday, but I'm starting to get over it.
Yeah.
I'll talk real quick about the Chiefs game. I was not, too worried about the season, but just the game. The only reason why I'm upset about the game because, man, I don't know if everybody else, but I want Dak to win that MVP, man, just because of all the stuff that he's been through in his life. I want him to win that MVP. I was on some other show yesterday. I'm not trying to bash Dak, but this team goes as Dak goes, man. If he's gonna have an off, that's the blueprint. If Dak is off, regardless of what everyone does, we probably gonna lose a game if Dak is off. At first, I was like, oh, man, it was all Dak's fault. But when I looked at all the little highlights, man, our offensive line looked like they were just reaching for air.
Literally.
The receivers were dropping balls. It was like, I swear to God, I thought Jason Garrett was back calling plays again.
Yeah.
We were going out with receivers. We only had like 2 receivers going out on routes. So, we didn't have that many options. I was like, well, what's going on? But
it was just a total cluster offensively, brother.
What was going on?
It was a total cluster offensively.
Yeah, man. It just offensively, we was out of it, man. And Dak had that blank stare all game, and I was like, oh man. But enough of that. We on to the Raiders. So as you know, I live here in the Bay Area. This is former Raiders land. I only live like 5 minutes away from the Oakland Coliseum. So,
Okay.
Raiders are known for just tailgating. Raider fans out here, they don't even know the names of the players. They just all about the tailgate. I'm serious, man. That's all it's all about, man. Raider Nation, they're all about the tailgate. They probably only know like one or two players. They can only name like one or two players on their team. But I'm a little concerned about this game because the Raiders got blown out in their home field 2 games in a row. I mean, got mollywops. They have got burnt. They just got smashed. So I think and they're a good team, man. We cannot overlook them. They're a good team. They got that Max Crosby. He's gonna be nonstop all game. Like everyone's been saying so far, we need to get that running game back on spot.
Got to get the running
I'm
game.
not saying we got to, man, but our running game is very limited. It seems like we only got like 2 plays. Right up the center, off tackle behind Martin. We don't really got too many options going in, too many plays that we call. We only got like 1 or 2 run plays, and all they're gonna do is just line up right over linebackers. They're gonna stay condensed in between those 2 tackles. We need to spread them out, man, and do a little. Take a book from the Patriots, the 49ers. Who else? Minnesota. We need to hit those edges. I think I heard you say they're susceptible on the edges. We have speed to hit those edges, but we don't use it. Even if we don't get no big gains on edges, we need to set them up so we can counter back inside. It looks like with the past 5 games, it looks like we're just running the brick walls on the run game.
Yeah, it's been kind of lazy in how they've been calling it of late. They didn't really need it much against Atlanta, but other than that, it just hasn't been successful. But I think the gripe a lot of Cowboys fans have, and it's a fair one with Kellen Moore, is that he doesn't necessarily stick to the run game, right? And B, it's not really imaginative in how he's been running the ball of late. Now you go back earlier in the year, it wasn't like that. It's like, okay, yeah, we got off the first 5 games and he got comfortable and went back to relying on what he knows, and he's a passing coordinator. We understand that, but he's got to find more creative ways, I think, to get the running game involved when it's struggling. And
exactly.
I'm going to talk about this as we get off. Your final word, brother. Final word on this game.
Oh man, that was pretty much what I wanted to say. Oh, well, I got one idea. We don't got to do it now, but after we get off this after the Saints game, I think we're gonna have to make some line changes because we need some maulers up in that front, man. I think All had talked about this a couple of weeks ago, man. We don't have to try Collins at that left guard, man. We need someone that can get in and start beating some people up. And we just ain't tough up on the run game. I'm not saying we got to do it now, but sooner or later, I think we're gonna have to move Collins into that guard, and because we need to get like some monsters up in the middle, so they know, hey, we can come get you, and we can dig out like 3 yards if we have to. So that's all I got to say. I'm out. God bless you, my man, and Cowboy Nation, keep your heads up. I'm out late.
Appreciate you. Y'all playing with fire, man. Y'all want to play these musical chairs with these linemen. You better figure something out. But no, they talked about that actually. Connor McGovern's going to be at left guard again this week. Coach said he played okay. You go back and watch. It wasn't as bad as I thought he was, but he obviously wasn't great in this game. He gave up the 1 sack and I think 3 pressures. So I mean, hey, first game on that left side next to Terrence Steele. I'm not particularly upset with you at that game, but we got to figure out some momentum. It's weird to say we got to get Maulers in there. If we get 3 yards, we get 3 yards. Well, you're getting more than 3 yards without that. So yeah, whatever they decide to do, I'm just with it. I'm beyond exhausted of all this line movement, all this line change. And Louis Riddick said something very great in regards to not overreacting and panicking when your team has a bad game or what have you. I feel like Cowboys Nation does that. We have a bad game, we overreact and panic, and we want to make all these changes. And great teams don't necessarily always do that. They evaluate and they go back to the drawing board, figure things out, and come back and they try to make the necessary improvements. But musical chairs, I don't think is the way to go. I don't think it's the way to go. Now, I wanted to talk about a way to improve your run game, or at least help your run game out when the line maybe is struggling or a scheme is getting to you. And someone asked me this on Twitter. They talked about using Dak's legs more, and I said, hey, y'all know me. I've been an advocate for more of the not RPO necessarily, but the read option. And I'm not necessarily talking about open field, midfield, but I can understand why the front office decided, because I think this is a front office decision, hey, we're eliminate that play out the playbook because Dak Prescott got hurt. Well, when a run game is struggling, or at least not as consistent, I think that play can help. Because I'm going to say this. When your run blocking is struggling, I think that play can help because it holds a linebacker or it holds a defensive end or a defensive tackle or a safety, whomever's in the box, that split second to get to the second level or get your lineman to get the leverage or seal off and create an alley. And that play is completely eliminated from this play. It's completely eliminated. Like, I'm treating Dak Prescott now like Peyton Manning. So if you ever try to do a fake RPO or a fake read option, I'm not even worried about Dak Prescott because he hasn't run the ball this year doing it. I feel like you got to at least incorporate that aspect back into your offense somehow to present that threat. And that's where having like a Taysom Hill, or we saw the Chiefs do it. They put their tight end at running back or tight end at a quarterback. Hell, even if you want to do it with TP, whatever, do something. Like the play that worked, the best play on the ground that worked was a trick play. It was creative. It was crazy, but it was creative and it worked. So do something to try to get the run game going. But running right up the middle and into three yards in a cloud of dust uncreatively is just not the way to go, in my opinion. So, all right, Kellen, you're having a good year this year. There's no doubt about that. But go back to the drawing board and try to figure something out here. Dario, yes, Zeke is injured. He's been dealing with the knee injury. I'm kind of at the point here where do you sit him? I mean, he has to get healthy. Do you want a banged up Zeke? They talked about monitoring his usage and things like that. He's clearly banged up. He doesn't have that explosiveness that he had at the beginning of the year. And you can tell, you can see it. He's not making people miss anymore, and he's affected. He guts it out, don't get me wrong, but all he is right now, the only thing he's useful for you right now that I've seen the last couple games is pass protection and as a battering ram. Pass protection and as a battering ram. I'm not saying it's because he doesn't have the skill. He's just hobbled. He's literally playing on a bummed knee. So, I'm hoping that TP gets more involved as we move forward to kind of rest Zeke a little bit, man. We need Zeke later in this season for sure. North of the Star, man. What's up, good brother?
What's going on, North? Kind of took some of the words out of my mouth as I was waiting there.
Hey, that's cool.
But I wanted to
go ahead, repeat them.
Yeah. I was calling yesterday and I ran out of time. But I think when you and the caller were going back about the running game, what I think needs to change, I think Kellen Moore and Dak need a little more patience. I think they felt like it was like a 3-score game, and they didn't realize it was just a lot closer than it was. Sorry, catch my breath. I was just working.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I think even when you look at the games early last year, Falcons, they started pressing and then Dak had the turnovers. I think it was a closer game, and you could have just tried at least one drive to just pound the ball down their throat. But
we don't want to talk about last year, North. Last year is not anything like this year, so let's not talk about last year.
No, I think it might still not be a problem, but I think it's obviously still a weakness. I think once they get down, they're not trusting the defense yet. Maybe the defense was playing well. And every time we kicked the field goal, or it just felt like it was just we kicked the field goal, KC we were just killing time. It wasn't doing anything. But I like what you were saying about moving TP. Do creative things to get the run going, like TP in the slot, or even we struggled so much against motion when running. So why aren't we doing that a lot to other teams? And the same if Cedric Wilson were to get a lot of reps this week. Cedric Wilson, he has it on film that you might give it to him. So I would be doing that a lot. Make sure Raiders, you almost block a guy without blocking him.
My thing is, if a run game is struggling or if you want to open something up, I know this play is so cliche, but man, the jet sweep is almost undefeated. It's almost undefeated. You guaranteed to get at least 4, 5, 6 yards. And what that is going to do is it's going to put the defense on notice now, right? Because we do that motion a lot. We send whoever it is on that quick little motion. And if you're never going to run it, then they're not going to respect it.
Yeah, and I wanted to say it last week heading into the game, but I ran out of time and kind of forgot. But this team, in being aggressive on fourth down, I felt like against Atlanta, the plays that they were going for on fourth down, when it was like 3rd and 8, it was like they threw the 6 yards because they already had the feeling that they were going to be going for it. And I think that just makes the defense. Yeah, and the defense just has to play you a lot different because usually it's protecting the sticks. But now if they know you're more likely to go for it on 4th and 2, you're giving the D a lot more things to think about. So in that regard, even if you have to grind out the run, 3 yards to carry, and you just say, hey, we're going four downs, we're going to get a first down. Trust me. Like, I think they need a little more of that bully attitude early, just to kind of set a tone. Like, they seen Dak was off, and it just we need something to get Dak in rhythm when he just starts off.
Yeah, well, the problem was everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And once they went down 16-3 very early, I think that did alter Kellen Moore's thinking. I think where they could have got back to it when it became a 7-point game. Now, they went down and kicked a field goal, but it still wasn't out of hand yet. But it was one of those games where nothing was working. I don't want to harp too much on this game particularly. That's why I brought up all 4 of the last 4 games. If you go back and look, the Cowboys have had 78 yards, 82 yards, 114 yards, and even against the Patriots, they had 122 yards on the ground. Not a good day. It's a good day. So, but it hasn't really been this whopping crazy run game like it was when they had 198 yards, 160 yards, 245 yards, 200 yards. Like, it hasn't been one of those kind of days in the last month and a half of the season. So they got to find, if they're not going to get back to that, which I'm okay if they don't, they got to get back to being productive when they run the ball, because I know people just want to run it and ram it and you're at 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. I'm not for that. I'm not for having negative. That's a negative play in my opinion. You get 2 yards, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. If it's not productive, you're just doing the defense a favor in my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I don't like to keep hammering or battering ram kind of thing. Just like when you see Dak starts a little, just like one series or something, just to try and set a physical, kind of presence. Or you seen KC come out on the field, get a touchdown right away. Okay, try and establish a run game. It just felt like it was a 2-score game for almost all game, and you just needed 1 score to make it close. And then I don't know when the pick that he threw to CD, when he what down was that? Do you remember?
It was the end of the half. They should have called a time. You weren't going to run in that situation, but because it was 30-something seconds left, and you were at the 10 or the 15, but they should have called a timeout, North. I was pretty upset they didn't call a timeout, gather themselves, because that possession was extremely important. You needed points. I didn't care if it was 7. I didn't care if it was 3. You needed points there, and they got nothing out of that.
Yeah, exactly what I'm trying to get. Just a little more, they need something, just a little more patience when they get down for Dak and Kellen. They got to know we got to get some points going into half. Get something. You can't throw a pick. You just can't throw a pick there.
No, you can't throw a pick.
Yeah, and it's it happened with Romo too, and that's, I guess, why we already know that what happens, but we've seen it one too many times.
What happened with Romo?
Oh, sometimes when Romo would be pressing at the end of halves, and then either we're fumbling it, all of a sudden we're going down. It seemed to happen to Romo at the worst times for us, and that's why a lot of the fan base was so.
Yeah, it'd be the fourth quarter.
He would.
At the beginning of his career, later in his career, he got really good in the fourth. But beginning of his career, it was the fourth quarter. He'd make a crazy interception or something ridiculous. But not a good throw by Dak. It eventually got CeeDee Lamb hurt, and that sucks because now you're likely not playing with CeeDee Lamb this week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Raiders, again, we match up well. They're kind of wheeling right now, and this year when we catch this opponent, we usually put them in the ground. So come out, establish the run, like you were saying with Zeke. I think this even rest him. He doesn't have to get all the touches. Ride Tony Pollard, get Zeke a nice 10 days, even if he's just a little bit of carries, but give him the most time you can to get ready for New Orleans.
Indeed. All right, man. Appreciate you, good brother.
All right, take it easy, Scott.
903, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's happening, my man?
Not much. What can we do for you? What's up?
what's up?
I said, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Me and Roscoe are driving down the road. But I only had a quick question for you. I don't like seeing Dak run, but sometimes it feels like he forgets that he can run. Do you think that we should allow him to run the ball more whenever we're in like situations like we were in Kansas where we can't get the ball down the field?
I am. It's hard to say. I am a guy who would love to see him run more, but I get it if you don't want him to because of what happened last year. Like, that's in the back of your mind. If that never ever happened to Dak Prescott, I think we all would be in agreement that, hey, man, let's get Dak involved more with his legs. Early in his career, he had he was very successful. I don't think he's had that many rushing touchdowns since year 3 or something like that. So it's been diminishing as he's going on. Now, don't get me wrong. He is a passing quarterback now. That's good. Because in a passing league, you want him to be a passing quarterback. But I think the threat of his legs also helped the offense, and that threat's no longer there. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the front office. I feel like it's the front office, but I would like to see him kind of threaten the defense a little bit more with his legs.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there is one more thing that I wanted to say,
Sure.
and that was this last week's roundtable was the best. Like, I hope you guys can. Yeah, I hope you guys can get back together again soon because it was entertaining and like just anytime you and Okoye are involved, man, I'm on board, my man.
Appreciate it, man.
So,
Appreciate it.
Hey, happy holidays and wish you all the best of luck and go Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Yeah, roundtables are always fun, man. I can't wait to do it again. We had different energy in that roundtable because it was a big game. It was a heavyweight fight, and we were trying to rally the troops, trying to rally Cowboys Nation. But yesterday's price wasn't today's price in regards to Sunday. We didn't know Tyron was going to be out and Cooper's going to be out. It changed things. Stage says, have you heard anything about Urban lately? IR, mandatory three weeks. So he should be coming off IR, I believe after this game or the following game. So you won't hear from Brent Urban until sometime in December. Got my OG in the building. What's up, B-Bird?
Hey, what's up, Sky? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, I wanted to comment on something that you said. You're talking about Dak running the ball more. And I think about this from our standpoint as fans. Yeah,
right.
We'd like to see that.
Right.
But you got to look at, man, if you just paid a guy $40 million and he had a foot injury last year, and that guy gets hurt running the ball.
I know.
I mean, so those are the guys that's making that call that have to answer those questions. So that's why it's not happening. Another political thing I think that's happening right now is I think that Zeke should really be resting at this point in time because he's hurt, man. And the issue with that is that your backup is, it's not much of a fall off as any at all if Pollard gets to start. So I think they're saying, hey, we paid this guy this amount of money, we're going to roll him out there. But I don't think it's best for the team. I think that's more political also. The thing I want to ask you, man, I don't have all 22, and I probably need to get it, to be honest with you, because
it does
then I
wonders.
can see things better.
You can see things so much
and I know
clearer.
you do, and I definitely depend on, I trust what you're seeing. What are you doing defensively to our running game? Are they playing us any different, or is it just because I know our O-line play isn't good, but since our O-line play is not good, are they putting more resources or people in the box, or are they just having 7 men in the box and our line play is not good enough, or what are you seeing as far as what the defenses are doing against us?
It's a combination, but if you're talking about the Chiefs game, that's why I mentioned it earlier, and I needed to see that all 22 because you can't tell what's going on all the time from the broadcast view. But early downs, there wasn't much creativity from Kellen Moore in the run game, B-Bird. So they were pretty much sitting on what the Cowboys were doing. They'd come out, and if that 12 personnel, or they come out in a tight formation. Even if you go back and look at the tunnel screens, if you go back and look at the tunnel screens, it was easy and obvious to tell when they were going to throw that screen. The splits were extremely tight with the wide receivers. It was just a very predictable offense. I've seen it in the chat. I've seen people say it during the game, man, this feels like Jason Garrett, because it was extremely predictable. And I think it's kind of becoming a bit of a trend, isn't it, on the road? It's becoming a bit of a trend with Kellen. You get a little bit predictable on the road. It's tougher to play. I get it. And at home, you see that creativity open up a little bit more. But what I think he needs to do is get his playmakers the ball early. Like in a game like the Chiefs, I don't care how you get CeeDee Lamb the ball. Get a reverse, a running back, a quick screen, just something to get these guys their juices flowing. Because when you don't, and they notice that, hey, these guys are getting roughed up at the line of scrimmage and Dak's not going to them or can't get to them, then it's going to be a long day. And it's a little bit of both, though. It's a little bit of both, though, because the offensive line has not. I don't know why people think this is 2016. People would say this is the best offensive line, all this stuff. I promise you guys, this line that we've seen, it's not the same line from 2014 or 2016. So the whole impose your will thing, the whole let's impose our force on this ain't that kind of line. It's just not.
Yeah, they're just the people that say that. We've talked about that before. Is they're regurgitating something that they've heard before. One of the things too, offensively, what I'd like to see is even if CD doesn't play, I still think what you do, you come out and say, hey, we got Wilson, you got Brown, we got Gallup. We're gonna throw the ball to those guys like they're CD and like they're Cooper, and that's the only way I think you can. Because if not, the defense sense that, and they sense that you're not going to go to these guys, and next thing you know, a lot of things that you're doing is not going to work anymore. Our offense is predicated on making people respect everybody on that field, and if they don't respect these guys that you're going to throw to, then they're going to dedicate more people to the run. You're not throwing to these guys, and then now you're in this situation to whereas I think Kellen got in last week where he kind of tightened up the playbook. He tightened up himself, mentally, and I think he shrunk his mind down to, what he usually, I think they say in crisis you go back to the things that you know what to do, and I think that's what he did last week. But I'll tell you this and leave. We should beat the Raiders, man. And that's just all it is to it. Even with what we have, if CD doesn't play, I think we have a couple of teams that's to our liking that's coming up with the Raiders and the Saints. So I think that we should win these games, man. If we do, and I think it goes a long way into the rest of our season. Hey, man, I'm gonna get off the line. It's great talking to you again, brother. I appreciate
Always
you.
good talk to you, B. Bird. Appreciate you, man.
All right, bro.
Robbie said you saw on the direct snap we picked up yards. Yeah, we talked about having to get more creative. They did that and kind of went away from that type of thing. I seen a couple folk in the chat said they want Malik Turner to have a bigger role. Yeah, Malik Turner's a great story, and he did play a little bit in that game once CeeDee Lamb went out. So maybe you'll see more Malik Turner. He just seems like a gritty guy, a tough player. So yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I don't know what you're going to get out of it, but I wouldn't mind seeing more of him. So Sean says we've been singing. Yes, it was. Oh, we're talking to somebody in the chat. Manny say he doesn't see it all 22 till Thursday. All right, let's get back to the lines. I think Wayne's been on the line holding. What's up, Wayne?
Hey, Sky, what's going on, man?
What's up, brother?
All right, my thing is, yes, I'm on the running game too, and you're right. We need to get the ball into our styles in any way possible. I don't care how they do it. And the RPO, that's like a lost cause, and we don't even do it anymore. I remember Doc used to do that, and used to kill that.
Did
because the end don't know who to take. But I don't know. And to me, I don't have the all 22. Like I wish I could get it, but certain things I see on the road, and Kellen, he does, like he climbs up on the road. The same thing you do at home, I need you to do on the road. Don't change nothing. And I think, my personal belief, they should sit Zeke to Thursday and let Pollard run. Pollard and Clement.
Clements, yep.
Let Zeke chill out and get that knee relaxed for a little while.
I kind of agree with that, man. You don't want – I think a hobbled Ezekiel Elliott, and I don't say injury. Everybody's playing with some type of injury or banged up. Everybody's playing banged up. But I feel like Zeke is hobbled, and I think he becomes, believe it or not, a liability when running the ball. He might be good picking up blitzes, but if I can get TP, 15 to 17 touches, I'm almost guaranteeing y'all at least 2 of those touches, he's going to have an explosive run.
Well, to me, Sunday, that should have been the thing right there. Give Pollard the ball.
Yeah.
Because Pollard has that speed, and like you said, we don't do that jet sweep. Listen, you could fake it twice, because you have it, and you hit it the third time. You get a defense because they said, no, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Boom, you could bust a 10, 12, 20 yard off that. And now you give them something to think about. Now you see everybody go motion. Oh, damn, they're going to run the jet sweep. So, yeah, you got to keep the defense thinking. And we don't do it. And one other thing I noticed, when we do run the ball, we do not run off tackle at all. And that's another thing that kills me with that. But
yeah, you would have thought they would. Go ahead.
Nah, and the fans, y'all need to chill out with this nonsense, man. We still 7-3.
Yeah.
We got a game on Thursday we could win, and we'll be 8-3. So relax, man. Just jump on the bandwagon. That's it. Feel weather fans. If that's the way you feel, stay off. That's how I feel about you.
Hey,
stay off.
I feel you, brother. I feel you. Hey, appreciate the call, man.
All right. Hey, keep up the great show. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving to the fam, man. Appreciate you. I think we got Reek on the horn. What's up, Reek?
Yeah, what's going on, Sky Cowboy Nation? Stand up. Yo, man. Get the mics up for Sky, man. All that good stuff. My thing is this, man. Is it just me? And, I hate to nitpick, but did we, in my opinion, I feel like we lost some nastiness ever since we moved Terrence Steele from that right tackle position. And the reason I say that is because I don't see that nastiness over there on that right side like I need to see. Because when that man was over there, that man was nasty. He was throwing people out the way. He was getting them the field. He was getting to the second level. You know what I'm saying? And Zach Martin was playing a little bit better over there.
So when you said that last time, I couldn't believe you said that. But I went back and watched. I made a whole entire video of your boy throwing people on the ground and being nasty. He was nasty. And then if you go back and watch the Atlanta Falcon game, he was nasty. So I'm just no offense to you, but you're wrong. Like La'el Collins in regards to being in the run game. He's been nasty in the run game. Run game has not been a problem in regards to La'el Collins blocking. His pass blocking has been up and down, and so has Terrence Steele on that left side since they made the switch. Well, they had no choice but to make the switch because of Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, brother, La'el Collins, since he's come back in the run game department, he's been mowing people down. Like, that's not a problem for La'el Collins. That is not a problem.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, Scott. But my thing is like this: if you go back and do the stats on that, as far as them when Terrence Steele was over there, to where the couple games that La'el Collins been over there, who has the better production? You know what I'm saying? Like, have we been running better on that right side?
We haven't been running great since the New York Giants game. We just haven't been running great, and that's not just from one. You can kind of attribute to one person in regards to Tyron Smith, but that's just not one person from the right tackle. Like, your right tackle is a great run blocker in regards to La'el Collins. Like, I don't. That's not a problem. La'el's issue right now is in the pass game.
Okay.
Against good rushers, I guess you could say. Melvin Ingram gave him some tough reps. The Denver Broncos gave him some tough reps, but. Okay, so you say you're talking about nastiness. Nastiness doesn't have anything to do with left or right? Well, what's up with did Steele just lose his nastiness just because he went to the left?
No, what I'm saying is this. I'm not saying that the man lost his nastiness. I feel like he's losing a little bit of his confidence, to me. You know what I'm saying? Because he looked lost as hell in his last game.
It ain't confidence, bro.
I know it's loud. I know it's loud. I know it's loud and noisy in KC, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time too, you know what I mean? My thing is like this, is like they look like a fish out of water out there. You know what I mean? Like, to me, and it seemed like I kind of agree with one of the callers. Like, it seemed like I know we gotta let McGovern get his feet up under him, get his legs up under him as far as playing that left guard position, and I agree with that. You know what I mean? But if we go with it, let
me ask you something. Where were you at after the Atlanta game? How did you feel about this after the Atlanta game? I'm just curious.
Say it again.
How did you feel after the Falcons game? Because I didn't hear from you after the Falcons game.
The Falcons don't have a defensive line like that.
That's why I didn't hear.
You know what I'm saying? They're okay. They're okay. You know, and I said that. I'm like, Garrett on the line, he did pretty good. Flowers was okay. You know what I'm saying? But nobody else did anything against us, and I understand that. But my thing is like this. I'm looking at it like far as the bull rushing in Dak's face. You know what I mean? And him getting hit like that. It seemed like every time that dude was dropping back, you know what I mean? It was draped all over him, straight in the middle. So I'm like, damn, they keep bull rushing straight up the middle at us. So it's like, damn, when Tyron do come back, is they seriously gonna be like, you know what? We might have to, if let's just hypothetically say, if McGovern doesn't play well these next couple games,
you make a move. That's what we talked about after they made the move with Connor Williams. It was like, hey, if it doesn't work out, you can either go back to Connor Williams or you can explore moving to LC. You got options, and that's what Coach McCarthy said. He said Connor Williams knows that there's competition in that offensive line room. And that's why I think if you're going to make the move to McGovern, you have to do it now so you can get a sense before we get to the play. You don't want to do this week 17. You know what I mean? You don't want to go into the playoffs not sure what you want to do. So you get a couple weeks with Connor McGovern, see what happens. If it doesn't work out, I'm pretty sure they'll probably go back to Connor Williams. It doesn't seem like LC, the right guard, is a remote, our left guard is a remote option, but I get it's what the fans want.
Yeah, because it's like he might have the most power, like, you know what I mean, to withstand some of them bull rushes, man, because they just getting up on Dak too damn fast, man. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and from what you really see is that they're pushing them straight back into his lap. I'm like, that has to stop to me. You know what I mean? For us to be successful, because you can't keep asking this dude to roll out. You know what I mean? Roll out every time you snap the ball. It's like, come on, man. Then at the same time.
Is this just because they lost? Like, I'm just trying to, you know, I'm trying to.
It looked like the Denver game. It looked like the Denver game to me. The KC game looked like the Denver game for defensively.
Nah, bro.
As far as our front,
they got ate up across the line. Like, we cannot just sit here and hold one person again. Connor McGovern wasn't just the only one getting whooped. Everybody got some. Zach Martin got some. Connor McGovern got some. Lyle Collins got some. Steele got some. Y'all want to switch everybody? Do y'all want to just move everybody because they got beat?
Gotta play with it though.
Right. Right. You gotta work through it. You got whooped. Now get back into here and let's see what we can do. But they all got whooped, Rick. So I'm not moving everybody because everybody got whooped. I think, again, this is part of that overreaction. Cowboys fans overreact to every single loss, bro. I'm not
overreacting.
Yes, you are. Every single loss. I'm watch this. We lost to the Bucs. What everybody say? Connor McGovern and Tyler Biadasz. Kick him off the bridge. We lost to the Denver Broncos. What everybody say? Collins sucks. Connor Williams, whatever. He actually had a good game. Kick him off the bridge. We lost to who is this right now? The Chiefs. Everybody up front, move them around. Let's move everybody around, kick them off the bridge. It's overreaction to every loss. What happens when they win? Nobody says any goddamn thing. So it's an overreaction, man, to one loss, bro.
It's not about the loss so much. It's how we lost. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's how we lost. Because I think even with the Bucs loss, we still had a good chance to win that game. It was a couple little screw-ups. That's the reason why we didn't win that game.
We didn't have a chance in
this game. We
played
a good game. Huh?
We didn't have a chance in this game?
I said we had a chance in that Buccaneers game to win that game. It was a couple little screw-ups. The reason why we didn't win that game.
Well, what I'm saying is, did they not have a chance to win in the Chiefs game, is what I'm saying. It was 16 to 9.
We had a chance because of the defense and special teams. We had a chance. Sure. But I'm saying we could not, for some reason, it's like when we getting out physical on the line, it seems like the tent fold up, man.
Boom.
That's all I'm saying.
No, you ain't lying. The games are won and lost in the trenches.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, Scott. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, if we play musical chairs, don't get me wrong. Yes, I do. I agree with you in some sense to where it's like we can't keep moving everybody around. You know what I'm saying? We can't keep moving everybody around, but at the same time, too, we do have to have an open mind about it. If these dudes keep getting pushed back in this guy's lap, how can we expect that to do his job?
Who are these dudes? Can you please say the names?
Okay, I'm gonna say that left tackle position. I really believe that left guard position is
just
the weaker link on the line. I understand Tyron Smith not there. I get that. Okay. That's a big deal. Right. I get that. But what I'm saying is that's between the left guard and the center. Those two positions seem like to be our weakest on that line.
So you want to make changes to the left guard and the center? Is what you're getting at?
If I keep seeing the same thing, yeah, I do. I really do. I'm just saying that as far as me. Okay. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I might be totally wrong, but it's my opinion.
How you feel about Biotish move? I thought Biotish has played well over the last.
He's played a little bit better. I give him that. He has played a little bit better. You know what I mean? He hasn't. You know what I mean? He hasn't been having the mental breakdowns he was having a little earlier. But that's just me, man. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, my whole thing is like this. Let's not rule out Lyle Collins going back to left.
No one's ruling it out at all. But I think we got to stop acting like, number one, what that one move is all of a sudden going to make things a million times better. I will go back and remind you guys. The Cowboys ran for, who was it, 189. Oh, that's a different one. Hold on. Where we at here? Ran for... Where we at here? 198 yards, 160 yards, 245, 201, and 122 without Lyle Collins over there. So it's not always about just this one. The most important player on the line ain't your left guard. It's Tyron Smith. You give me Tyron Smith in the lineup, I don't give a damn who plays over there, Reek. I don't care if you put me and you there. I'm good to go.
Okay, but can I ask you one more question? I'm going to get out of here.
Sure.
Now, off those good running games, who is playing right tackle? That's what I want to know.
Lyle Collins wasn't playing. What? Lyle Collins is not an issue in the run game, Reek.
But I'm saying, have we got a 100-yard, 170-yard game with him playing right tackle?
And just one game of the 2 or 3s played, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that's all I wanted to know. I ain't trying to ruffle nobody's feathers, man. But I'm like, to me, I'm like, they still have to come up. They still have to keep everything on the table. As far as from my standpoint, they have to keep everything on the table just in case Williams not working out and Conor McGovern not working out. You know what I mean? Because it's about to get colder. It's about to start getting cold. You know what I mean? It's about to get colder, and we about to start playing some teams with some good defensive linemen. You know what I mean? DTs that's going to push the power back. And if our left guard's not holding up, what we gonna do?
Games, bro. Like I love Lyle Collins too, but I've seen Lyle Collins get pushed. Like we as fans have this fantasy that linemen don't lose. It's strange, man. And I get Lyle, like it's another option. I get it, but Lyle's going to get pushed back too. It's going to happen. It happens. And it doesn't happen as often as all you guys keep saying, and it doesn't happen as less as somebody else keeps saying. Like, that's just the reality of the NFL. These guys are good on the other side, and you're not going to have 5 Pro Bowlers, Reek, on the line. You're going to have a weakness at some point. And Lyle Collins could be your weakness at left guard, too. I've seen him get pushed back, even at left guard. So, like, you're not going to have a perfect line, man. But I appreciate you, Reek. I got to get going, man.
All right. Peace.
Yeah. Shavance, man. What's up, Shavance?
What's going on, Sky? Hey, yeah, I don't know. I've been listening the last couple of days to some of the callers. Today, I think one of the good points about the run game was the lack of creativity.
Yeah.
And like we have 2 good running backs. So if Zeke is hurt, why not run him 5 to 10 times and run Pollard 10 to 20? And I feel like it's because they don't want to have to face those questions again about, hey, why are we paying this guy this much? what if Pollard breaks out again? Then they got to face that. And I feel like they're just afraid of answering those questions. Fuck that. I'm sorry, but forget that. Put the best guy. Put the best guys in and win the game. I thought we were done with the Jason Garrett politics, nice guy stuff. Like, let's go win some football games.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What do we got to do?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's up.
You know what I mean? And the players got to ask themselves, what are they willing to sacrifice to be a better team? What's the issue with Collins moving to guard? Is it because he doesn't want to, or is it because he's not good at it? You know what I mean? Like, if it's because you don't want to, well, the team's more important, right?
No. He didn't say that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to Lyle Collins. He did not say that.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know why, but I'm just saying, like, these are things the team needs to ask themselves. Like, we don't need to know. It's none of our business. But, like, they got to it's part of that identity they're developing and what clicks on that line. I understand, like, the big word is continuity. You can't just throw guys around and expect it to work. I mean, it's a process. So
and they're trying to figure that out. I mean, you got to give them credit. They're trying to figure that out. They are. They're trying. And like we said, if it doesn't work out with McGovern, you got options. You got LC. You got Connor Williams to move back there. You got options. So they are trying to figure that out.
Now, another thing I was going to say is, I mean, I've played every sport under the sun, man. I even played ice hockey, and this kind of reminded me of one of those games where it seems like everyone took a turn making a mistake or a bad play at the most inopportune moments. And because they took turns and it was everybody, it was like just nothing would work. Just never got in sync, never whatever. If it wasn't a penalty, it was a mistake. And if it wasn't a mistake, it was a referee. And if it wasn't a referee, it was
That's just a bad game, man. It was overall a bad game. And like I said, I'm going to find this Louis Riddick tweet because Cowboys Nation overreacts far too much in regards to bad games. But go ahead.
I'll tell you what. When I called, I thought the only time I'd be dropping the F-bomb was when I started talking about how they used the replay to throw a penalty after the fact. We sure could have used that in that Bucs game. At the end of that Bucs game, everyone saw the replay on that, but they didn't call pass interference on the offense. So why are we calling penalties after watching replays?
I don't know. We ain't good.
Yet.
Yeah,
that's not a thing yet.
Referees, I appreciate y'all for letting me be a fan.
I was so mad. I was screaming at my TV like it was going to hear me. Oh, my God.
All right. But, hey, man, appreciate the call, good brother. We got to get going.
All right, my bad. I was just going to say, it was just an off game for these guys. It just didn't click. They'll get it together.
Yep, thanks. Hey, Mel, what's up, Mel? I got to get moving, man. These lines here. I might even be able to get to everybody today.
Man, I'm dying laughing because the overreaction, bro, is so funny.
Can I read this real quick?
It's so funny.
Can I read this real quick, Mel? Louis Riddick said, player and team development is a never-ending process. It's stair-step process, not a straight line trajectory to the top. When good teams/players have a bad game or games, that's what it is, a bad game. Doesn't mean they are fundamentally/structurally deteriorating. Talking with and listening to the players and coaches from these two teams in particular have been football education 101. He's talking about the Chiefs and the Bucs. He says, never was there any panic, sense that they needed to do drastic changes, etc. They understand the long game and what it takes to get to the end successfully. I can't explain that any better than what Louis Riddick said. Relax, man. It's a bad game.
Oh my goodness!
It's a bad game.
Move Lyle guard. Move Tyler. Move Connor to center. Move. I just like, man, y'all gotta calm down, bro. Like, y'all gotta calm down. Yeah. Like, man, let things play out. Let things play out. Like it was a while before they even decided to move Connor Williams, and it really was the penalties. It really wasn't so much like his
play. And I didn't even get to that, Mel. You're right.
Like it took a while, and the other reason to move over to the other Connor was also you looking at a contract situation because Connor Williams more than likely is not going to be back next year.
Sure.
So, if you really looking at it, it's a big picture thing when you're talking about moving all these players around. Lyle is not going to guard.
It doesn't seem like that's what they want to do. I mean, I feel like that's going to be one of those break glass in case of emergency situations where, what's the cat's name? McGovern is a drastic failure. And then let's say, because I think they're going to go back to Connor Williams, because I think they're sending a message to Connor. So if McGovern fails, Connor's play wasn't an issue. It was the penalties. And if you put Connor back,
penalties. Yeah. It wasn't his play.
No, it wasn't his play. So if you put Connor Williams back in there and he's bad again, then I think you do the break glass. You put Lyle Collins over there. But, and again, that's not something that I'm opposed to. It's just that right now, when speaking about with Reek, we're talking about run blocking with Lyle. What are we doing? Lyle Collins run blocking? He's one of the best run blocking right tackles.
If Lyle was at guard, was Dak gonna hit Gallup on that wide open play?
No.
Like the stuff that y'all are spending all this time stressing over had nothing to do with why we lost the game. Like, y'all gotta relax. Like, that had nothing to do with why we lost. Like, onto the run game, like you were saying, man, the 3 yards in a cloud of dust, that's we gotta do something there.
Man, you got a chance against this defense. They're not the best run defense in the land. They got some players up front in Ngakoue and what's the cat's name, Max Crosby, but I think you can get something with them. They've given up a lot of rushing yards.
You can get something with them. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched much of the Raiders, but you said something earlier, and I was like, I wasn't planning on calling in because I was working. I was just listening to the show. But when you said TP 17 to 19 touches, I said, "Oh, that sounds beautiful."
Yeah.
Like, we got to get that dude. That dude got to get more involved, especially if we're not going to get any explosive plays out of Zeke, like just no explosive plays. You gotta get TP in there, man. You gotta get TP in there. And I love Zeke on a personal, not that I know him personally, but I got love for Zeke and I love everything he's done here. I love the kid that he is. But I mean, if we talking winning football games, like, hey man, we gotta do what we gotta do. Like, get TP that ball more. Like, you gotta get TP that ball more. I don't care about starting and all of that and this, that, and the third, but get that man the ball more. He sat way too much in that Chiefs game.
Right.
He sat way too much.
They want series without even giving him a touch, and I just find that strange. And this is not new for me. I mean, a lot of the fans are new here, but I've been saying this since he was drafted. I felt like he should easily be getting minimum 8 to 10 touches minimum. And at this point in year 3, it probably should be going up to anywhere between 12 to 15 minimum, because he's that good of a player, good of a runner, and a good of a change of pace back. And when Zeke is hurt, that should be north of 15 touches. North. So we'll see this week. I think this would be a good week to flip the script. Get Zeke some rest, maybe bring him in on third downs, right, to pass block or whatever. But can we get a game where TP touches it 20 times? I'd love to see it.
Ooh, I mean, you said it before, but I think now it's kind of really leaning. We need more TP, but you said this before. TP and Zeke is better than TP or Zeke.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
they got it. They got to get. He has to touch the ball. And the last thing, man, I'm gonna let everybody else get on. They gotta stop, like, it's like, okay, when somebody come back, they just completely forget about the other guy. Like, Ced Wilson was playing really well for us. And then when Gallup came back, it was like, I think Ced Wilson got like one snap the game before.
Well, he was nursing an injury, remember?
Was he? Okay.
Yeah,
okay. I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I was like, damn, they just threw Ced Wilson in the garbage can. Like, like he been balling. Still let him get in there and, get a route in. But, okay, I didn't know he was nursing the injury.
Yeah, I think it was a shoulder or something. He came in there and did that trick play. The penalty got called back. But, yeah, he had an opportunity on Sunday, Mel. No. I'm making no excuses for him on Sunday. Well, I mean, I'm not making no excuses for nobody on Sunday. They all sucked. Yeah, and that's the thing. When a game like this, how the heck are we singling out? Well, you know what, Connor McGovern? What are we talking about here? The entire offense was awful, And I promise you, a left guard change is not fixing what happened in that game, man. That game was just an entire cluster F. It just was. Let's see what happens moving forward. They got a shot here at Thanksgiving to reevaluate themselves and get everything back on track. And I'm sitting here watching and showing the highlights. Joe Mixon had a game. He had a game, y'all. He had over 136 yards, I think, a rushing touchdown. Now, with that said, that game was actually 16-13 with 5 minutes left in the game. So the Raiders' defense per play, the yards per play is actually top 10, but their overall volume stats, they're not great. So I don't think you can take these guys lightly. Like I said, with Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue, Jonathan Hankins he's a solid one tech. And then their calling card, if we want to get back to the Raiders, their calling card is actually their pass defense with Casey Hayward Jr., bro. He is locking dudes down. Absolutely locking dudes down this year. He's only given up like 120 yards total and 13 receptions this year. And then I like Trayvon Moehrig in the back. He's helping them as well. So that's their calling card. Avoid Casey Hayward Jr.
And the Raiders offense is just in complete shambles right now. They can't run, they can't pass, they just in complete shambles.
Yeah.
I mean, and the reality of it is, man, I was looking at the Eagles schedule last night, and the way they playing, I'm gonna be honest, I don't see another like glaring loss, except to us. The way they playing, I don't see another like, oh, that's a loss on their schedule. They've got the Giants, they've got the Jets, they've got Washington. All those are teams they can beat. But the reality is they already got 6 losses. So we just got to not get to 7 losses. We don't get to 7 losses. We win the East, we in the playoffs, and as we saw last year with Tampa Bay, anything can happen from that point. So in the reality, man, don't get to 7. We lose if we end up losing 7 games and we don't win the East. Fire everybody, get rid of Dak, everybody, move Connor Williams, and move blah blah blah, and all that other stuff. But as long as we make these playoffs, man, we keep it in, we keep pushing, we be straight.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right, brother. Hey, appreciate you, Mel.
All right, bro. Later.
Man, if we lose 7 games, man, that would be a travesty. But context, and not every team is healthy. But my goodness, when you're going to be getting back a lot of really damn good players, and I'd argue when you get back just half of those dudes, I'd argue to find a team that the Cowboys can't beat. Now, if you're without a lot of these dudes, hell, if you were without Tyron Smith, I feel a little leery. But if you're without a lot of these dudes, you got a problem. We got 2 more. We got to make it quick, and then we're going to head up out of here. Fort Lauderdale, 754. What's up? One second. There you go. What's up?
Actually, kind of just. Oh yeah, how's it going, man? Name is Marcus. I'm a huge fan of your show.
Thank you,
found
Marcus.
your show actually from Vox Lombardi.
Okay.
Huge fan of all of y'all. You guys do major things on the internet for the Cowboy community. Just wanted to call in. I agree with a lot of the things you've been saying. People have been saying offense needed to get it together. That experimental kind of McGovern at guard. Didn't like it. I didn't think the Chiefs game was the game to do it.
Yeah,
but
it was rough.
We learn. We live and we learn. You know.
It was a rough time to switch it, man.
That,
real quick, if I could touch on that.
Yeah.
I was okay with it because I thought I was under the assumption that Tyron was playing. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. You get, your all-pro, all-world, Hall of Fame guy back.
Exactly.
But I woke up on Sunday, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I was a little queasy when I'm like, Terrence Steele was about to go out there on the road against Frank Clark and Arrowhead. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. And it just didn't work out.
Exactly. Yeah, I felt the same way when I heard Amari Cooper was out too. So I was like, dang.
Oh, yeah.
So at that point, I expected, Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown to step up. But, that's a learning experience. I'm sure they'll go back, watch the film, and they'll come out this week firing on all cylinders. So I'm not too worried. On the defense, though, I want to push all the linebackers except for Michael Parsons off the bridge.
I ain't mad at you, man. I'm disappointed, underwhelming. Keanu Neal, LVE's not going to be here next year. I think it sucks right now from an athleticism standpoint that Jabril Cox is hurt, because I think if you had Jabril Cox, I would definitely be like, you know what, let's run this man out there for 40 plays, see what happens while we got Micah on the line of scrimmage. When they do that with those games, right, when they move Micah down, I would love to see Jabril Cox, because we don't have another linebacker that all year we haven't had another linebacker that's been able to be consistently good when Mike is not in the middle.
Exactly, and I thought we would get that from Keanu Neal, but fortunately, no. So, yeah, that's all I had. Just I know we're gonna do big things against the Raiders. I'm not too worried about them. I just know everybody's gonna. Sorry, that's my daughter. Everybody's gonna come in and do their job. We're gonna bounce back from this week and move forward.
A great opportunity to bounce back against this Raiders team, man. Appreciate the call and appreciate the support, man. Feel free to call in more often.
No problem.
All right, final call of the day. Got my guy Pre-Med in the building. What's up, Pre-Med?
Hey, man. Hey, I'm not gonna try to touch on the Chiefs loss too much. I just thought the one disappointing thing was the motivation while we were losing on offense. It looked like my high school when we used to play Allen, and everybody would just give up before the game even started. That's what it kind of looked like, and I was just that was just demotivating for me. And the defense was up playing.
That energy wasn't there, right?
Yeah. But what I really called about is how do you like how they just activated DL for a 21-day practice?
So they haven't.
We just talked about
we were just talking about that. So they haven't yet, but they're about to. I think I would assume this week, by the end of the week, they're going to activate him, and I hope and pray he's available next week against the Saints. But yeah, we were just talking about that.
Yeah, we were like, well, since they're 7-2, they feel like they don't have to. But now they're talking about Randy should be back to play against the Saints, and then Tyron gonna be back this week. I think all of it's so funny. Now that because we lost another game, now they're activating everybody. I think that's hilarious. But but yeah, that's all I wanted to say, man. I don't have much today, so thank you, man.
Hey, no, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call, Pre-Med.
Yeah. See you next time.
All right, man. Let's get back into the chat here. Robbie said, I rooted for LVE, but he's getting lost in the wash. I did too, Robbie. I did too. And I was wrong on him. I said, healthy, I think LVE can be this and be that. But I think the injuries may have taken a toll on LVE, man. It's a wrap. Did anyone hear Sky talk about Rod Marinelli? He did an interview yesterday describing how well he knows Dak and why he thinks the Raiders stack up well. You know what? I don't know why that went over my head, Trauma. I appreciate you bringing this up, Trauma. Rod Marinelli, the defensive line coach for the Raiders. So, yeah, this could this be one of those things where he knows this offense, he knows this coordinator, he knows this coach, some of the players, and he could help out Gus Bradley? I mean, I think he has some type of insight. But, no, I didn't even think about that, Trauma. I'm going to have to go back and watch that interview. He says he thinks the Raiders stack up well. I mean, well, no CeeDee Lamb, no Amari Cooper. Yeah. If they don't have Tyron, which I think they will, yeah, you stack up well. You do. And again, I didn't go all the way through their players. Maybe I'll go over it more tomorrow, y'all. But we talked briefly about where's he at? Casey Hayward. Here he is. Briefly about Casey Hayward. I promise y'all, the dude is playing some of the best ball in the NFL at the cornerback position. You might say, well, Sky don't got 8 interceptions. The boy ain't giving up receptions. He's given up 13 receptions for 143 yards this year with a 45% completion percentage when targeted. Yak-wise, so if you catch the ball on Casey Hayward, you're going down. He's only given up 41 yards after the catch. So Casey Hayward has been playing some of the best ball, and he was a guy that I really wanted coming into this season, in the off season. I thought he would have been a great veteran guy opposite of Trayvon Diggs. Now Anthony Brown has played well this year, so that kind of mitigates itself. But I mean, AB playing good, but boy, Casey Hayward's a beast, and he's going to make it real tough on this team, especially if there's no CeeDee Lamb, if there's no Amari. Well, there won't be an Amari Cooper. You don't have a lot of weapons. You just don't have a lot of weapons when both of those guys are going on the outside. Donation here. Wow, big one, man, from Miss Charlene. I gotta press for that one.
Super chat.
Thank you so much, man, for the $99.99 donation. He says, love the channel. I try to watch the morning and evening shows. I want to say big shout out to Stevie Mac, the mod god. Stevie Mac 23, always on point and keeping the chat respectful. I appreciate his services. So do I, Miss Charlene. Thank you for the donation. That's why I call him Stevie Mac, the mod god. He is I mean, I don't know everybody's moderators or whatever, but one of the best mods that I know of. And since day one, he's been a major reason why we've had, I think, a really good chat in the YouTube community. So definitely salutes to Stevie Mac, man. Peace. Real quick, as we get on up out of here, I do want to finish off on some of these guys for the defense. Nickel cornerback Nate Hobbs is starting to come around too for the Oakland Las Vegas Raiders. He's coming around a little bit as well, and but he gives up a lot of yards. That's the thing with Nate Hobbs, and that's going to happen when you have a nickel guy, a slot guy. They're going to give up a lot of catches and a lot of yards and a lot of yak. That's the one thing he's been giving up. So if there was a guy that you want to target in the secondary, it would be in the slot. That's why you hope CD's playing, because he's going to give up the reception. 88% when targeted and over 230 yards. Yak. But, if you try to go deep, the guy that you got to watch out for is Trayvon Moehrig. We talked about a little bit with Foots. Trayvon Moehrig is a guy I love coming out of college. I would have loved to have him here as a safety. God dang on Raiders took him one pick before the Cowboys, and from all accounts, if I remember the draft season well, the Cowboys were very interested in Trayvon Moehrig, and from what I hear, they might have took him. They didn't take him. The rest is history. The Cowboys selected Kelvin Joseph, and so far the rookie season is pretty much going to be chalked up as a wash, as a redshirt year. That's what I believe. So, statistically, man, he hasn't given up a touchdown, only 21 yards, credited with 21 yards. Now, safety's tricky, right, to with the data, but still, man, 21 yards. So their best bet to beat the Dallas Cowboys is to make them one-dimensional, hobbled, if they're hobbled on the outside, and let Max Crosby and Ngakoue get to the quarterback. Because even if they don't get to the quarterback initially, I think they have confidence in their back seven or their back defensive backs to hold up just a little bit longer and get a coverage sack. So I'm not sleeping on the Raiders defense. It's not a great defense by any stretch of the imagination. I think you need to get the ground game going this week. You better get it going against this team, because if not, now you're just saying Max and Ngakoue, tee off, brother. Tee off. See what y'all got to say in this chat here. Will Perry said, fix the O-line, better play design and play calling from Kellen. More misdirection, jet sweeps, pre-snap motions. I think we're going to see all of that at home, Will. They do that a lot at home. I think it's the crowd control. It's the fast track playing indoor. It's just the confidence of being at home. This team, in regards to how they call plays, is the confidence in which they call them, I think changes depending on where they're playing, in my opinion. And at home, they do a lot of that stuff. I could be wrong, but it just feels that way. Scotty said, I know that game had a bad taste, but I've never seen a fan base lose their minds when their team is 7-3. Welcome to Dallas Cowboys fandom. That's just Cowboys, man. Robbie Radford says Crosby could be a problem. Let me fix that for you. Crosby will be a problem. Don't lose your minds, Cowboys Nation. He's going to beat La'el Collins. That's going to happen. If Terrence Steele's playing over there, he's going to beat Terrence Steele. If Terrence Steele's playing on the left, Terrence Steele's going to get beat. Don't lose your minds. It's going to happen. We just have to hope that this front doesn't get owned like it did in Kansas City. Cannot have that. If that happens, we're in for a long day, man, and we're going to need number 4 to be Superman. We need to be Superman. I feel you on that one, CJ. So let's see what Smith and McGovern, and then we can talk. Yeah, I would like to see it, right? I would like to see Tyron Smith and Collins. Think about this for a second. We've only seen one game with La'el Collins and Tyron Smith on the field together. One game. That's a game they put up 29 points and had the lead against the defending Super Bowl champions, and it took them a bullcrap drive and all these penalties and whatever and kick a field goal to beat them. So that's the only game the Cowboys have had. They're bookend tackles, and we're ready to just write that off. I'm not. Let's let this play out. It hasn't played out. I feel like we react and overreact to one game, and it really is one game of a certain situation or lineup. When, like Mel said, let it play out. When it plays out, if it doesn't work, then you go back to the drawing board. They let the Connor Williams thing play out, and they said, okay, let's see what we got in Connor McGovern. And like you said, CJ, I would love to see him next to Tyron Smith, and let's see what happens, man. And if it doesn't work out in the next couple games, go back to the drawing board and figure this thing out. Yeah, Manny, we'll talk about this tomorrow, y'all. He says, who's covering Waller? In my opinion, he's explosive, more explosive than Kelsey, and goes downfield more. Yeah. I think tomorrow's going to be fun to talk about because the defense is going to be more exciting to get at because they had a good game, right? No one wants to hear about the offense. It sucked last week. The line sucks. Everybody sucks now. Let's do all this stuff, right? The defense played well. They have some weapons in regards to Waller and Josh Jacobs, and Derek Carr has been a decent quarterback this year. So tomorrow, possibly with Okoye, got to get with Okoye. We're going to break down the Las Vegas Raiders offense against the Cowboys defense, and I think that will help dictate what happens in this game on Thursday. If the Cowboys offense can get the momentum going and get the crowd involved, I think you'll see defense can get the momentum going and get the crowd involved. I think you'll see the offense have a little bit more confidence at home and should be better. All right. So listen, appreciate you guys joining me. Thank you for the super chats. Sponsored by Miss Charlene today, but all the super chats. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the calls. You guys were awesome. I love chatting up with y'all. Make sure y'all tune in later tonight with Mauricio Rodriguez. He always brings good stuff. And if you can't tune in, check out the replay on all the podcasting platforms. And I think we also have them up on atozsports.com/Dallas along with our article. So make sure y'all keep on rocking, man. Keep on rocking. That's right, Stevie Mack, my guy. Drop that thing. Tomorrow, Cowboys D, Raiders offense. I like the matchup. They got to come to play, man. They got to come to play. CJ said, yeah, tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central-ish. That's what we going to do, CJ. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
I want me some glory